Ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
It's time for the Early Bird Special. Bringing you the best stories from the world of sports and sports entertainment. Now, here are your hosts, Sparky and Burdick.
Bakersfield, surrounding communities, and everybody watching online on YouTube and Twitch. This is the Early Bird Special. I'm Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. Sparky, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Financial Friday.
Gosh.
So much money to talk about, but let's talk about
long-ass week.
What do we got?
Oh, we'll definitely get into Watt getting paid. He is probably the first to start this because there is a lot of other Parsons, Trey Hendrickson, but we'll get into that. Some NFL news. Another guy we've been talking about, Lillard, found a team to go to, and it was not one that we were talking about, but we'll talk about that. Caitlin is out for this weekend's All-Star festivities. We'll have Andrew Boydston, local funny guy, will be here at 8 o'clock to pump up their show tomorrow at Timbler. And we'll have Joel Iriarte,
yes.
local professional boxer, 8-0, will join us with his trainer at 8:30. And just a big shout out. The baseball season officially starts today, baby.
Goodness. Welcome to the club, sir. Welcome to the club with the rest of us.
But
We've been on the train.
Well, the train is just barely starting.
Yeah,
So
I don't know about that. The train's been going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, in my opinion, but my team is doing well. So
you can
exactly
call
complain.
or text in anytime, 661-842-2000, and go Mariners.
Yes, and we will give you an update on the British Open as well. Round 2 gets going today as an American. Brian Harman has taken the lead after round 2, going 6 under today. He currently sits at 8 under. Hao Tong Lee at 7 under in second amongst a group in 3rd, 8th, and 10th to potentially get going here in the later afternoon, including Scotty Scheffler, who, in my personal opinion, most likely will win this tournament because, I mean, he's even getting bored of winning. We talked about that with our guy,
Bolt Brady.
Thank you, the other day. And, I mean, Scotty's just getting bored with it at this point. He's got no competition. Ain't nobody even in the zip code.
I hope he loses now.
Of being in Scotty Scheffler's godlike form when it comes to golf. But let's talk a little football because we don't get enough time to talk about football, especially since football season's right around the corner. And TJ Watt has finally signed his historic deal, which we knew was coming at some point. Everybody freaking out in Pittsburgh. Calm down.
They're going all in.
TJ wasn't going nowhere. Let's be honest. That had no way, shape, or form was TJ ever going to play in a different uniform. He'd retire before you ever played it for anybody besides Pittsburgh. But signing a 3-year, $123 million extension puts him at the highest paid non-quarterback position. Don't think that's going to last very long.
No.
Micah Parsons will most likely come in and sign. I'm going to assume either a $41.5 or $42 million deal here in the next month to take that from TJ.
108 guaranteed.
This is now the second time TJ Watt has been the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. Second time. And this 3-year contract, just fun fact, dang near eclipses all of what his brother TJ made in his entire career. I loved the tweet I saw from JJ yesterday. This boy better not ever let me reach for my wallet ever again. I agree. If your little bro made that much money, I kind of feel like that with my brother right now. He actually does coding and stuff like that. Makes a ton of money. We ever go to lunch? Hey, I'll just Venmo you. Yeah.
My brother's the same way.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Hey, you make enough money like that? I mean, shoot, I'm leaning on you a little bit too. JJ made some good money too. He made 129, I think, in his entire career. But this contract, 123 for a 3-year period, now $41 million a year, just puts him over Jamar Chase's 40.25.
How close is it to Miles?
It's over Miles. Miles, I believe, is 40.
Oh, so it's not.
If I'm not mistaken,
it's not that. I mean, it's
no, it's not.
Close.
Well, it is when you really look at the zeros, but when it comes to actually, like, because I feel like as fans and people who just follow the sport, and obviously we just see these contracts, and normally you see 43 million, 44 million, and all we see is the 44. And we immediately think, oh, that's not that bad. Yeah, remember, you still got to put 6 zeros behind that 44.
Mhm.
Anybody ever seen that much amount of money? Probably not.
But let's hear from Schefter on that deal.
We saw Max Crosby become the highest paid defensive player in the NFL, only to be topped by Danielle Hunter, only to be topped by Myles Garrett, only to be topped by TJ Watt. And now we sit there and wait for deals potentially for Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati, Aiden Hutchinson in Detroit, and of course, Micah Parsons in Dallas. And so the offseason deals for pass rushers continue, none bigger so far than TJ Watt.
You think it's,
100%.
Hutchinson before Parsons?
Yes, but I don't think Aiden gets this kind of money just yet. I'd love to say that Detroit pays him like this. Honestly, it would be great to see him get anywhere in the $40 million range. I think is actually fair for him, especially with the amount of just talent this guy could be in the next couple of years, even coming off of an injury like he is this year. Parsons for sure, we're getting a 41.5, 42. Dallas will 100% make him the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. They have no issue doing that. It's Micah Parsons. He's worth every dang penny. Trey Hendrickson, as much as I would love to say would be in this ballpark, he's not going to be. And even if you traded him to a different team, I don't think they pay him $40 million either.
Unless it's somebody like Arizona or...
Even then, I think
he's worth it, man. But if it's a short deal...
But see, that's the thing is he doesn't want a short deal.
Yeah,
he wants
3 years. He wants a 3-year deal,
which I could totally understand. And I think that if you go to a team that's willing to give you that long contract, I think he's going to take it anyway.
Come to Miami.
That would be great for your defense, wouldn't it?
That'd be
especially
awesome.
Losing the defensive pieces you
Bring
guys
him
have
in with
last few years.
Jalen and Chubb. I'll be happy.
Right. And honestly, he'd fit in almost anybody's scheme. He's a fantastic defensive end. I still say, though, he lands in the 35 to 37 range.
Outside of Cincy?
Outside of Cincy, 110%.
So that was a conversation I was going to bring up because a lot of people around closer to Cincy are saying that it seems that the Bengals waited way too long.
Yes.
And the price for his trade is just going down.
Yes.
So what do you expect? I mean, what do you see maybe a viable trade option?
I don't think there is one anymore.
I don't
genuinely believe,
or you probably had already been traded.
Cincinnati has just drugged their feet so much on this because they genuinely believed they were going to be able to probably turn him and Shamar Stewart's mindsets around. Yeah. Maybe when they got to camp and realized, oh, this is a talented team, we could win here. I don't think you're actually selling that though. Or at least if you are, you're not selling it well.
Yeah.
So it's a very good point. The longer you wait on this trade, the worse it's going to get because every team knows if a person's unhappy and is unwilling to play for you, much like we saw last year with Hassan Riddick, he will not play for you. And then he's just wasted money on your team. And they can just pick him up as a free agent when you drop him. It's going to work out that way. And it works out better that way for teams because they don't have to give you anything. So most of these teams are just going to wait out the Cincinnati Bengals because that's the logical move. Since he's not going to do it, I think at this point, the betting odds of calling Cincy's bluff have now moved to 70-30. Yes. Everybody's calling your bluff. You're not good at this.
You've been bluffed.
Yes. You look, dude, we get it. You think the offense is enough, but we're all calling your bluff at this point. I don't think Cincinnati has any intention of paying either of these guys any money that they want. They want to make a contract that is team favored. So just in case something doesn't work out. And I guess I get it with Shamar Stewart, like I've highlighted a couple times.
I can get it with the rookies, yeah.
Shamar's contract, and it's honestly, you're betting on a kid from Texas A&M that really is a 100% a project player, because if you look at his stats at Texas A&M, they're not stellar. They're not that great. They really weren't. But he was a defensive force, and he was at least somebody that made an impact not only on the field, but at the combine. So it makes a lot of sense why you took him. Regardless, though, kind of waiting it out this long has shot yourself in the foot. You are now bleeding out and have no other choice, because what are you going to do? Not have Trey play and just eat up all the money until he finally just leaves next year?
And their defense is looking pretty empty.
Yes.
Right now.
100%.
And, there's always injuries in camp. Camp starts next week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why it was a genius move for Pittsburgh to lock it in before camp, so it didn't cause any drama over at camp. They seem to be all in.
Yes.
Now it seems like the opposite with Cincinnati, where now they've got two bubbles, and if they do end up trading Trey and not address Shamar, their first rounder, I can understand the rookie side, kind of the same thing you were saying, but letting somebody as talented and has led your defense this many years, I mean, it just makes you, one, look bad as a management, and two, I understand you've got Burrow, you got two badass receivers, you've got a great offense.
But you let go of Joe Mixon, too.
You let go of
a lot
Mixon.
of big pieces of that offense.
But what are you going to do? I mean, the big thing with Cincinnati, they've beaten Kansas City. Okay, well, there's other teams that are stepping up to the plate now, and you have no defense.
Yeah. And honestly, how are you expecting to slow down a Kansas City offense? How do you expect to do that without a guy like Trey Hendrickson, who got to Patrick Mahomes almost, 30% of the time he was rushing at him, which is a considerable amount when you're in the NFL. At this point right now, you look at it too. And honestly, I'm glad you brought up the comparison between Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, because this offseason has really been a tale of two sides to these teams. It's really been two coins. The media has been critical of both teams all summer long. But in certain ways, Pittsburgh continues to be that organization, that franchise that shows everybody, calm down. We know what we're doing. And honestly, I'm starting to believe in it a little bit. I'm not 100% that you're going to get an Aaron Rodgers that's good enough to take you to a Super Bowl, but I have no reason to believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers are not going to be a contender next year, as they usually are with Mike Tomlin at the helm and a defensive just stacked team that now has Jalen Ramsey, TJ Watt, Cameron Hayward. I'm trying to think of the other defensive end they have right now. I believe it's Naismith or Hightower. I can't remember. And there's a ton of pieces on this defensive side for the Pittsburgh Steelers that are absolutely amazing to use. And I think you're going to at least get 10 games now. At least. Then you look at the Cincinnati Bengals, who have claimed, oh yeah, we know what we're doing. Nothing has worked out the way you would think, outside of maybe the offensive pieces, which may or may not have been strong-armed by your quarterback. We still, jury's out on that one. There's stories that claim that Joe went to the front office and said, get T's, thing done, or we're going to have problems. And there are some that say, hey, I would rather you would, allocate some money to these guys so we can win. Two different conversations.
But it's always been the mismanagement of their roster. I mean, how many years have we been talking about, the franchise tag on the receivers? And I'm like, if you would have cut that in half 2 years in a row, you could have had money to pay players like Trey Hendrickson, or locked him in for even cheaper a year or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
The price wouldn't have been as high as it was this offseason. I understand the Chase, the Burrow. That's your team.
Yeah, but again, I still stand by my statement that the money you gave T. Higgins should have been allocated in other areas.
Yes.
As much as I love T. Higgins, and he is a fantastic wide receiver, a stud, and a wide receiver one for most teams, if you're Cincinnati, the wise thing to have done would have been to break up T. Higgins' deal and given it to Trey and Shamar. As unfair as that is to T. Higgins, and I know that's unfair of me to say, but realistically, when you look at it from a team standpoint and from just a building of what you're trying to make, which is a chief killer, because that's the long and short of it. Every team in the AFC is trying to make the next chief killer. And if you can't do that, you're going to get fired. Because at this point, the Chiefs have set the bar so high that no matter how bad they are, because let's not forget, all last year, the Chiefs did not look good.
No.
They struggled, but they still kept winning games. They looked awful. It's kind of like the Dodgers this year. There are moments where the Dodgers look awful, but they're still one of the best teams in baseball because of how talented they are and how deep they are and how much this roster just gets behind their coaches and how good the coaching is. So the Chiefs have set this bar so high that every other team, your Ravens, Bills, Bengals, Steelers, all of them, does not matter.
Just
your job is to chase the Chiefs.
It was like what we saw with the Patriots for a decade plus.
Right. But my point still is that if you had made the right moves at the beginning of this offseason, we wouldn't be talking about you like this. If the Bengals had made the right moves, signed Trey Hendrickson to a long-term deal that's worth probably 35 to 40 before TJ and all these guys got these $40 million deals, you would have had your defensive end locked down. You could have had the money for your first-round draft pick. True, you lose T. Higgins, but you could have probably used a draft pick on a wide receiver that could have filled that spot at least.
There's tons of receivers in this draft.
whomever is at the helm of this plan that Cincinnati has, I worry that you don't know
What the hell you're
what's
doing?
happening. Yeah, I don't
I
think
mean,
you
this time of the
really
year, they should be talking football and preparing for the season.
exactly.
And instead, they've got the bubble over their head. Like, what? You don't have your first rounder. You don't have your sack leader.
Right. And in a division like the AFC North, where literally every team is the toughest team you're going to face all year long, including the Cleveland Browns. And that's saying something. That is saying something.
No.
But I'm just saying, dude, if you're going against teams like Pittsburgh and Baltimore 2 times a year and you don't have a defense, let alone trying to catch teams like Buffalo and teams like Kansas City or teams like LA, we don't know what the Chargers are going to look like. Denver could look great. You could be so far behind now in Cincinnati that you don't even know it. We're going to see in week 1 through 4, because this is notoriously how bad you guys start every single year. This could be the worst you guys start. And if it is, oh man, I think we're going to see some firings in Cincinnati.
Yes. Well, let us know what you think. It's 842-2000. We'll get into some more NFL talk right after this break. We are the Early Bird Special.
Welcome back. Good morning. This is an early bird special. Real quick before we leave the world of contracts, TJ Watt getting paid historically for joining us. I had this thought while doing my notes yesterday. Obviously, we see these positions get paid ridiculously in certain areas because they are very, very valuable to football. And traditionally, you see the defensive ends, the wide receivers, the corners be the ones to get the highest paid non quarterback contracts. I kind of was just throwing it out there, or I want to throw it out there to you and to our listeners right now at 661-842-2000 if you would like to join us. What do you believe, or who do you believe is going to be the next non-quarterback to break this list, not named Micah Parsons? Personally, first ones to come up in my mind, Puka Nacua for the LA Rams. I think if his trajectory can keep going upwards, I think genuinely when his contract comes up again, he could probably get paid a good amount of money from LA, especially with a lot of the big pieces being out of there at the time. They may be on a rookie with his rookie contract, which would be beneficial to him. I think a lot of money can be allocated towards Puka Nacua if he can keep going forward and become a top 10, if not top 5 wide receiver in the next couple of years. Bijan Robinson and Saquon Barkley also, I think, need to be on this list. I think Saquon has, and Derrick Henry, to be fair. I just don't think Derrick is going to get the money just due to his age. I think they have.
He just got the extension, so I don't think they're going to.
That's what I'm saying.
Again,
I don't think they're going to bump it up even more. But I'm just saying that when it comes to revitalizing the running back position and making it valuable again, I think those two names have been just incredibly important to that. Saquon alone has shown everybody the need for a running back, just leading the Eagles to a Super Bowl last year. And Bijan Robinson is probably one of the most talented players we've seen at the running back position. Whether Atlanta wants to give him that money or not is up in the air. But I think he is talented enough to break the bank and at least get into the top 5 to 10 conversation of contracts if the NFL ends up going towards the running back position a little bit more. What say you?
Yeah, that's interesting. Oh man, I mean, I'm thinking like AJ Brown, the CD Lamb, which he got his deal.
I was thinking CD Lamb, but yeah, he just got the deal, and I don't see Jerry Jones, especially if he's going to give Micah Parsons the money to do this. I doubt he's going to let CD be the one to, supersede that and have the money to do both at the same time.
Barkley, of course, was one of the first ones I thought of. But yeah, I mean,
another one that I'm going to throw out there only because he's a corner. I don't think he's going to get anywhere near the money to do this, though. But someone who's going to get paid pretty penny in the next couple of years, Christian Gonzalez from the New England Patriots, stud corner, probably going to get paid, I would say, in the $100 million range. Surtain is going to get paid pretty good money. I think actually Patrick Surtain probably will get paid more than Sauce Gardner when that time comes. That I can honestly say, but
that's interesting.
So
I mean, what about these offensive linemen?
I don't think
they don't get any love.
I mean, you get paid pretty well. Trent Brown obviously got paid by the Kansas City Chiefs the other day. We got, I think it was a $60-70 million contract.
The other lineman they just signed was one of the highest paid.
Right. So like some people know pay your big boys, but most of the time, I mean, it usually just gets allocated to different positions just because they're more in the limelight, I believe, and they take the brunt of the punishment when in terms of, who lost us the game. It's not usually pointed at during the game. It's always pointed at the O-line and how bad they played.
Yeah.
But after the game,
they don't ever get in love.
It's usually pointed at the quarterback or the wide receiver who dropped a couple balls or the corner who was very poor at covering his guy or, what have you. It is very rarely ever pointed at the lineman. So,
and the Chargers lost veteran wide receiver Mike Williams to retirement yesterday. And that sparked up is maybe Keenan Allen coming back.
I like the conversation. Honestly, I heard it yesterday on my way home too. I mean, the best analogy I've heard is, it's like going back to your ex.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you went back to one, didn't work out. Maybe the other one will work out. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about this. I think you got a good young core of wide receivers that you could potentially try to find somebody in.
I mean, Mike Williams is hit and miss the last few seasons anyway. He's been dealing with injuries for 3 or 4 years.
He was only in the league for 8 years, but when you look at his stats, I mean, he's in the top 15 for most wide receiver stats for the Chargers in his 9 years there. He only played 1 year with the Jets in Pittsburgh last year.
I forgot about that.
I genuinely didn't believe he was actually going to retire. This actually came out of nowhere to me. I like the move to pick up Keenan Allen, though. I think Keenan Allen still being a free agent is actually shocking to me, to be honest with you. He's a pinnacle of consistency every time he plays. But if it's not Keenan Allen, I think you go with either Amari Cooper or Tyler Boyd. I think Tyler Boyd's probably going to be the cost-effective choice and the younger, obviously, of the entire thing. If you don't feel like going back to your ex again, Amari Cooper is a fantastic wide receiver one that has been proven to at least be a solid contributor to your offense. I think you just need to get somebody who is consistent enough for the Chargers and for Justin Herbert to throw to, because he's losing now one of his favorite targets. Because between Mike Williams and Justin Herbert, 200 catches, almost 3,000 yards, 18 touchdowns. He was easily one of Justin's favorite targets. So you got to find somebody that's going to have that same kind of just chemistry and consistency with your quarterback so you can be successful.
I know we have some Charger fans out here because every time we bring in a guest, we find out they're a Charger fan. But I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, looking at the depth chart right now, the number one is Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson, and Trey Harris are those receivers, the core right now. But going into camp, I'm sure they'll pick up another one or two.
Do they still have Jerry Rice's son? I know they drafted him last year. They may be on the practice squad.
He might be in the practice squad, but
at some point it may go. And who knows? Maybe Harbaugh actually decides we're going to focus even more on the run this year, because last year he turned around the offense and they rushed 45% at the time
with the rookie Hampton and the one-eyed Najee Harris.
And you know what, dude, it could go that way. John Harbaugh is a very old school coach. He could just say, you know what, we don't have the wide receivers, so we're just going to lean on the run game and we're going to beat you that way.
I do like the Amari Cooper. I think that would be a good fit.
If you don't go, I think Keenan Allen has to be the number one choice, because obviously he's been with the team for a long time. He has history there, and he already has the chemistry and the rapport with your quarterback. So my personal opinion, if Justin's okay with it, unless there's some sort of relationship that was squandered between the two of them that I don't know about, then I say go with Keenan Allen. But if you don't want to go with somebody you've already had, Amari Cooper's obviously the best choice on the board still. Tyler Boyd. You also have guys like Tooney's down there still. I think there are a handful of guys that you can go pick up to at least fill a void for a little bit until you can figure something out going down the line.
Well, we'll take our break and we'll finish up in the NFL news right after this. This is the Early Bird Special on ESPN Bakersfield, 12:30 a.m.
101.1 FM. Oh, unpopular opinion. One of the most overplayed rock songs of all time.
Overplayed for sure. I just watched the
I love Papa Roach.
documentary of them
Mm,
and how pissed they were. That song was the one that
got big.
picked, and they did not like the clean version.
No, the clean version, it doesn't hit the stick. It definitely does not. But still, it's one
Have
of
you
those
ever
songs
seen them
where it's like,
live? They
oh
are
yeah,
great
they're
live.
fantastic. They came here. It was that's where I got to see them, and they were fantastic. They were one of the best bands that night. Every time I hear that song, I'm just like, oh great, here comes Scars again. Like it's kind of like Wonderwall. It's like,
Yes.
oh god, here comes Wonderwall. It's like I just and real quick
Or
before we get
going
back
back
into
like
sports,
Extreme, the band Extreme, More Than Words. They
yes.
hate that song, and they stopped playing it live for years because they were just sick of playing it.
Fun fact for most of you who don't get this yet or haven't figured this out, most of your favorite bands hate playing your favorite song.
Yes.
They hate it.
The radio hits they're sick of.
Yeah, they are so tired of it because that's all anybody. Imagine going up on stage wanting to do something different, and all anybody yells at you is "Play Freebird."
Mhm.
That's it.
Until they run out of the money, and then they make money off of it again. So,
So yeah, I mean, it's always nice to have the hits.
I mean,
That's
we'll
what
see
makes your
Sugar
money.
Ray at the fair this year.
Yes, we will. Amongst
You know how many
others.
songs he's probably sick of playing?
Oh my god! And before we get over back into sports too, I just saw this come across my feed, and I thought this was interesting because we've talked about this at nauseum. But for those of you who don't know, the infamous Annabelle doll has been found. It is on tour right now across America for some reason. Not sure why, but longtime paranormal investigator Dan Rivera died unexpectedly at 54 the other day, actually about a week ago, July 13th, while on tour with the doll.
I immediately thought of Cactus Tate.
How many more signs do we need?
Right?
Put the doll back. Put it back right now.
Put it away.
Put it away. Get it signed, sealed, and sent by a dang priest. And let's go back to the way the Warrens were doing it. Stop putting this thing on tour. What is going on? What demon is doing this? This is awful. Like, this is all I need to see is the fact that this man passed away while on tour with it. And he's a longtime paranormal investigator. Yep. Nope. I'm not somebody who believes in ghosts and stuff like that. But when you mess with demons, this is what you get. And that's why
I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe in demons.
I do too. 110%. Maybe it's just the religious side of me, but it is what it is. Let's
Well,
get back to football.
On the crime side, Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison pled no contest yesterday to a reduced wet reckless charge for his 2024 DUI case out here in California, settling the matter without admitting guilt. But he's looking at about a year of probation, about $400 in fines. But he will. It looks like he's going to get 2 to 3 suspended games.
Yeah, 100%.
So that just opened it up with the Rashee Rice, who was sentenced to 30 days
and 5 years of
and
probation.
5 years of probation for another high-speed Lamborghini crash in Dallas that injured 7-8 people.
I know we're really late to the game because this broke right after the show.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the funniest jokes I heard about this yesterday actually came from Seth Rollins on the Rich Eisen show.
Seth freaking
Rollins, who did a fantastic job hosting the Rich Eisen show. If you missed it, right here on ESPN Bakersfield the last 2 days. Does he have to actually do this in succession? Can he just kind of like, hey, I'm going to come in for a night and just, spend the night in jail and then leave the next day for practice?
They said they could do it without any time in the 5 years.
Yeah, he can do it at any point in time.
Do it weekend time.
And honestly, you could probably just wait it out for them to finally say, you know what, don't even give us the 30 days. Like, just stick to your probation. Because that's what they said. As long as the probation gets held up and he does everything he's supposed to, all of the charges will be dismissed. The case itself will be dismissed, and he'll move on with his life. He's already paid $115,000 to the victims of the crash. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Rashee Rice, Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver, was involved in an accident in March of 2024 in Dallas when he was driving down a freeway going 119 miles an hour and, caused some people to crash into each other. He was charged with 2 misdemeanor charges of collision involving serious bodily injury and racing on a highway causing bodily injury. I'm sorry, they were felony charges. They're not even misdemeanor charges.
119.
119 going down the freeway. Like, okay.
The worst was he fled.
Yes, and he didn't stay. I think it was one of those instances though where he didn't stop. Like, he probably wasn't even paying attention. He just didn't even Like
I
he
remember the
zoomed
video.
by him and just didn't even stop. So I don't think it was more like, oh, he saw it and ran. I think it was more he was going so dang fast that it didn't even compute to him mentally, because that is what happens when you go that fast in a car. But
Dumbass.
I just don't understand. Like, I get having the money. I get like fast cars, money, women. Like, I get that comes with the whole athlete thing. But can we not learn from Henry Ruggs? Did we forget what happened just 2-3 years ago? This man going down a Vegas street at 100 plus, plowed into the back of somebody and killed her. Why are you guys okay with that? Like, why is everybody just saying, oh, yeah, I'm just going to go get a Lamborghini and just haul it? Like, stop it. You're being irresponsible. Everyone called me Grandpa Chris for my driving on the freeway. Who cares, dude? You really want to open it up that bad? Are you that much in a hurry? Like, seriously.
So if they're looking at 2 or 3 games with Addison,
4 to 6. 4 to
4 to
6 for
6 with Rice,
minimum.
and see, I'm hearing 2 to 4 from Schefter this morning.
I'm sure, and
I'm like,
honestly,
really?
I think it should be 4 to 6.
But
I know it'll end
that's
up being
my
2 to
question
4.
is, do you think the NFL should make an example out of this? So hopefully
Honestly, they
it'll
should.
get in.
They won't, but they
No.
should, because 1, he's a star wide receiver on a championship team. 2, they have shown in the past that as long as legal ramifications haven't come back to be super serious, they won't really punish you that bad.
Well, now the window's open because a couple weeks ago we talked about the NFL wasn't going to do any suspension
Right.
until the sentencing. Well, now it's been sentenced.
Yeah. So now we hear about this whole thing with, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did give him a 4 to 6 game or 4-game suspension if he just serves the 30 days during that 4-game suspension.
Start this. I would say they give him a 6 and then they reduce it to 4.
Right. Because
Like they always do.
Let's be on. Yeah, he'll probably try to get it pushed down to
Mhm.
4. You're probably right. But because let's be honest about this. He's not going to a supermax jail. He's not going anywhere that's going to be like detrimental to his health. So my thought process is this: if I'm his agent, I'm waiting for the NFL to slap him with a 4-game suspension. You're going to figure out, okay, we're going to go to jail from this day to this day. You're going to be out a week before week 4, and then you're going to get ready for the season. And we're going to just move on with all of this because you get it out of the way. Everything is done. Your probation is now pretty much set. All you have to do is be on your best behavior for the next 5 years.
That's the problem.
That's a huge gap of time. The 5 years suspension or probation. I've never heard of a probation that long, although I've never been in legal trouble. So maybe that's why. But this entire situation, I don't think the NFL is going to slap him on the wrist that bad for the 2 facts that I said
They
earlier.
should,
but
yeah.
you're right. They definitely should. They absolutely should, because this is happening more and more. You have a ton of athletes going out and just being dumbasses on the road, going 120 miles an hour in Lamborghinis to make themselves look and feel cool. I personally don't get it, but it is what it is. If you guys need to do that to make yourself feel better, I guess that's what you got to do to cope, man. But you're putting people's lives in danger. I'm glad no one was hurt or seriously injured or killed. And that's the luckiest part about this, is that he didn't hit anybody and they all hit themselves, or each other, I should
The
say.
barricade.
But it's just absolutely absurd that we have to hear about this story again after just a couple years ago. You heard about a young wide receiver who was very talented, who potentially was going to be a breakout guy for the Raiders, have this exact situation happen to him, except he killed somebody.
And a dog.
Can we not learn from that? Like, seriously, I know I'm just the guy with the radio in front of his face, or the radio mic in front of his face, crying at you, but can we not learn from mistakes? Like, I don't get it. I really don't. But
Well, hopefully the NFL will at least be a little stricter with his suspension, but it would be nonsense if he gets pretty much the same as Addison gets. But we'll hear about that and we'll keep you updated. We'll take our final break of the hour. We'll get back and we'll talk about just where Dame ended up and the contract details right after the break. This is the Early Bird Special.
Welcome back. This is the early bird special. One final segment before we start getting to our guest of the day is comedian Andrew Boyd's going to be joining us first. Talk about their upcoming comedy show, Chris Whale and his hilarious friends
Tomorrow night.
tomorrow. Don't forget, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, VIP tickets are out. You're out of luck there. Sorry, you waited too long. But general admission is still there, and use promo code EARLYBIRD. You will get 20% off your tickets right now for tomorrow's show. And right after that, we'll talk with professional boxer Joel Idiarte and his boxing coach as well, I believe, is joining him. They're going to talk about the boxing gym they have here locally, as well as Joel's career in professional boxing. Can't wait to talk to him about his last fight, as well as what got him into everything and why he hails from Bakersfield, even though he's born and raised, I believe, from Woodland Hills. So he clearly claims us. So let's figure out what we did to win this guy over, because I love hearing those stories. But let's talk about one final homecoming from the NBA, as Damian Lillard has agreed to a 3-year, $42 million contract to return to the Portland Trail Blazers.
I love it.
I love it too, especially knowing that I don't think Dame ever wanted to leave in the first place.
Nope.
I mean, let's not forget, he was one of those guys that wanted to be a one-team guy. It just didn't work out at the time. Portland was thinking they needed to go in a different direction. They felt they were doing the right thing by sending him to a championship contender and letting him go after a ring. It did not work out in Milwaukee. I love seeing him come back. This deal also includes a player option for the 27 and 28 season, as well as a true no trade clause.
Only the second.
The
player.
only other person to have one is LeBron. Bradley Beal had one before they bought him out of his contract. But I think that is the biggest thing, or the biggest sign of confidence to me.
And loyalty.
Is loyalty.
I love it.
Yeah. The fact that the Portland Trail Blazers have shown that their loyalty to Damian Lillard is still there. $42 million is a good amount of money for what he is worth. And to be honest with you, with a roster that's kind of building itself from the ground up, it looks pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie. Scoot Henderson being in there, the Chinese center that everybody was shocked that they took, is actually looking really, really good in Summer League right now. You got Clanigan coming back from UConn. I think Portland might be in a better spot than we think once Damian gets healthy. I don't think they contend very deep, don't get me wrong, but they could probably sneak into, I would say, that 8-7 spot in the West.
Play in. What I liked is looking at the details. I mean, 2 years ago when they traded him to the Bucks. Boston got Drew, and Portland got Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, and Kamara, plus a first-round pick in 29, and then they have 2 swap first-rounders with Milwaukee. 2 years passed, and now you go back into, Portland gets Lillard back. They already have 2 of the 3 players that were involved with the trade including they've got Drew now, and they still have the 3 draft picks.
Which is just incredible.
I was like, nice.
How the heck did you play 3-card money and get all the pieces?
Nice rental.
And you know what? And that's, that's another very good point too, is that when the Drew Holiday trade happened with Boston, there was word that Drew may not want to play in Portland. Maybe this signing kind of turns him around on that. Maybe a reunion with Damian and realizing that Portland's taking this seriously and they're not trying to rebuild, they're trying to contend right now. Maybe that pulls in a player like Drew Holiday and says, hey, maybe I should stay here. Maybe this is something for me that we could really build around. Because honestly, with a young star like Scoot Henderson right now, and a lot of these young pieces that they've had in Portland, I think that this could be the best move forward. I really was believing that Damian was going to be headed towards LA.
Me too.
I really thought we were going to see a Dame, LeBron James, Luka team at some point, but I think that the long-standing just want to be a one-team guy, I think you can probably just now wipe away the Milwaukee years and just say that those never happened.
It never happens.
Never happened. What are you talking about? Damian never played for Milwaukee.
And people love him in Portland.
Oh,
so
100%. I mean,
awesome.
It's going to be a great reunion. I cannot wait for the first game where he finally steps foot on that court again and the entire city just erupts, because if you don't think he's going to be a starter day one, you're crazy. I'm sorry. Even if he's coming back from a torn Achilles, Damian Lillard, until you show me that Scoot Henderson or Drew Holiday is a better pick than him, that is your starter for the next 3 years.
And some other basketball news. I saw the Suns are showing some interest in a sign and trade deal for Warriors Kaminga.
Jonathan Kuminga leaving the Warriors is probably necessary. I know everybody's going, what? No, hear me out on this. The Warriors aren't going to pay him the money he wants. He's a young developing star, and he's kind of been under the shadow of Draymond Green and a lot of these other guys that you've had on that Warrior team. The relationship with Kerr has soured. I think it's better for the Warriors just to let it go. I think a sign and trade would be great. What you would get from this Suns team, I'm not sure. Maybe you pick up Dylan Brooks from that trade and you get somebody as a defensive piece to help out a little bit. A move away from Jonathan Kuminga for the Warriors would be beneficial. So I like this idea. And honestly, I'm not against him pairing up with Jalen Green and Devin Booker in Phoenix. Because at this point, I'm looking at the squad and I'm like, okay, we're shaping up here. You got rid of a handful of the shooting guard problems that we were talking about earlier. The money has been allocated, and now you're at least able to make some moves. Jonathan Kuminga rounding out that big man section of your team right now wouldn't be the worst idea, especially after moving on from a very talented big man in Ayton. So I don't know. What do you think? You liking this?
Not really.
No.
I mean, I always just think him with the Warriors. I was hoping they would find a deal. I know he's still a restricted free agent, so it would be a sign and trade type deal. I don't like what the Suns have done this offseason. Obviously, they had to clear up and make some cap space, or not pretty much, but with all the moves that they've done, I just don't see the fit.
It is going to be an interesting fit. I will agree with that. But I think Jonathan Kuminga is a talented enough player and has shown that he is a starter in the NBA. And for the Warriors to really dance around that and to, go back and forth of, oh, he's our sixth man. Nah, he's our starter. No, he's just the guy that helps Draymond. It's like, no, like you need to rely on this kid at some point and show that you have some faith in him.
I was just thinking because Draymond is probably on his way out.
That's what I would think too. So you would assume that the Warriors would want to build a young core and actually get something
and
there.
Keep him. Yeah.
But I think the relationship between him and Kerr last season is really what is leading to this right now. Because if his relationship with the front office and with the coaching staff was good, I feel like Jonathan Kuminga would have signed already. I feel like they would have gotten this done. But the fact that it's a restricted free agent situation, he's really weighing his options, means that Jonathan may not want to go back. And he's really considering, hey, I want to go play for somebody else where I will be the starter, not potentially will be the starter.
And not a big surprise, but the WNBA All-Star Weekend is upon us. And Caitlin Clark will not be playing, not the three-point contest, not the All-Star game. And I know she came out and said that she was incredibly sad to miss this and that the injuries have just kind of plagued her this year, which is coming from a player that really didn't miss any time in college it just really, do you think that really, the small amount that we're going to watch that? I'm still going to watch the 3-point contest, 100%. But I have no interest in the All-Star game.
No.
And especially now that Caitlin versus Angel is not going to happen.
What's going to make it worse is that all of these rule tweaks that they made for the All-Star game to make it a little more entertaining for people are going to mean nothing. Exactly.
The 4-point.
Yeah. All that's going to go completely by the wayside. No one's going to care nor even know what happened. And when the NBA inevitably does it, they're going to be saying, oh, this is the first time it's ever happened in an All-Star game. No, it isn't. But the WNBA can't take credit for it because no one was paying attention because their star player was hurt. This is what I'm talking. That it's poor timing. You can't do anything about it because it's injuries. It's not like she's refusing to play. But
when they make a big deal and it's Team Caitlin, now she's coaching it.
Yeah, really. She's going to be
sad.
That's the only thing I can think of is she's going to be in a suit on the sideline trying to coach the team, which honestly might not be the worst idea. Let's be honest. That actually might look good too. Who knows? But at this point is the WNBA All-Star game, All-Star Weekend this weekend. If you would like to watch it, obviously you can find it on all TV providers. I will most like Sparky, probably be watching the 3-point contest. I like Sabrina, but outside of that, I'm I'm gonna be busy at the beach, so I'm not gonna be really paying attention that much. We gotta take a break though. On the other side, we'll be talking to our friend Andrew Boydston about their upcoming comedy show this weekend. This is the Early Bird Special on 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. ESPN Bakersfield. Welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special, hour 2 on this Friday. And the first of our many guests today is our good buddy Andrew Boydston is back in the building.
Hello, everybody. Yes.
He will be a part of Chris Flail and his hilarious friends show tomorrow at Tembler.
Yes, that's correct.
How are you feeling? How's everything going?
Oh man, I'm over the moon. I'm excited. I can't wait for tomorrow.
Should we talk about the personal news as well, that you are now a full-time history teacher?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. If you know me at all, I've been a English teacher and I've just been hunting for this job to be a history teacher. And it finally happened. I got a phone call. I wasn't allowed. It was really cool because it was like free agency, and my agent was my principal, being like, don't tell anybody until we got it in print. Okay, we got to have it in print before we can start going out there. So, I just filled out all the paperwork, turned it in,
Well, say
Cross the T's, dot the
Well,
I's.
congratulations, dude. First off, I mean, we can talk about this first because I when I met you, you were a sub teacher.
Yes.
I mean, explain the long road of becoming a full-time teacher.
Oh man, like I mean, I'd have to go full Vin Scully. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna be taking a lot of time here.
That's
no,
fine.
You got 30
know,
minutes?
Yeah. So, it all starts out with doing the CBEST, which is just math, reading, and writing. And then once you pass that, you're credentialed to substitute as long as you have, your diploma from high school. And then, you go to school, you go to a credentialing program, you do student teaching, all that stuff. Once you want to do it, you don't get paid anymore for the thing that you've been doing for years because now it's an internship. Which by the way, I'm happy to die on that hill for every teacher. Okay, you did an amazing thing. It took a lot of hard work. Don't let anybody tell you a way to teach. You've learned clearly and went through the paces. So don't tell have anybody tell you how to do your job. And then, as a English teacher, well, basically, if you want to be a history teacher, the stepping stone, the unofficial one is be an English teacher because, history teachers, it's a cush job. They love it. Like, it's a subject that so many people are interested in as adults.
All right.
I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to go in there and make a bunch of 7th graders become scions of history or anything. But
history was my worst subject.
Yeah?
I hated history.
What was the problem?
It was boring to me.
It was
No
just
one could
boring.
ever make it entertaining.
No one can make it entertaining.
No, but I mean, who better to make it
was gonna
entertaining? The guy
say,
who looks like Grizzly Adams.
If I had
Yeah.
Mr. Boydson as my history teacher, I probably would have had a little
We
more
got the
fun.
Revolutionary War. He's teaching you about Vikings. He just walks right in with the beard. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man, it works.
Yeah. And, I just want to wish, John Oxford a happy retirement. He's the one that I'm taking the position for. And, he hung in there so I could, kind of take the mantle
Absolutely.
and move on with him. So
So
I'm
was that the
excited.
goal when you got into teaching?
Yeah.
That you wanted to be a full-time history teacher?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, right on, dude.
Absolutely. And it is that reason, like a lot of people don't have great experiences
Right,
with
absolutely.
it. And I think I've got that personality to just kind of add a little bit of, let's say, engagement
Mhm.
to the material. And, I'm going to try my best to find kind of like lesser known source, readings and stuff like that I can have fun with. I'm going to be working in a department with dudes that I've worked with already.
Okay.
So that's really cool. And they're my friends.
Nice.
So we're building curriculum out and it's like the band, like we're getting a new band together. I'm the new drummer. I'm in. Let's get it going.
Sounds like a great situation over there, man. I'm
Are
very
you
happy
swapping
for you.
schools?
No, same school.
You're staying in the same
Same
school.
school.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. I'm very happy for you. And honestly, who better to teach your kids about history than a comedian who can actually connect with them and get them to actually be engaged with it. So I think this is going to be great. That's awesome.
And who looks like he's just going to open up a book and blow dust off and
Exactly.
start casting
Dumbledore.
spells. Yeah. You're going to come to back to school night, meet me, and I'm going to give you a quest. That's what I'm going to do.
You're never going to meet a teacher that looks older than you but is much younger than you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's right. And you're a walking oxymoron, my friend.
I saw a picture of me from it was like 2015 or something, and I was just like, what's changed? I was like, have I even gotten more mature? Like, I don't even know.
Mentally, no. Physically, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
I can say there's a little gray in the beard.
Yeah, a
I
little.
can see it in
It's getting close. It's getting close.
Well, let's talk about the show this weekend. Obviously, you guys are very excited. VIP tickets are already sold out, but general admission are still available. Who else is on the list of comedians that they'll see on Saturday?
So it's gonna be Chris Flo and friends. So obviously Chris Flo will be there. We've got John Hacker, Jeremiah Nation. Jeremiah Nation is he was born here in Bakersfield. So he's born and raised out here, but he currently lives in Visalia. So yeah, and Tulare. So like in that area. So
this is a homecoming for him as well.
Absolutely. And I went on tour with him. So
did you really?
Yes. Yeah.
Any fun stories from that tour?
I mean, I don't know what we can get away with on here, but
A lot. It's
You
the
can
wording.
get away with a handful. To be
a
honest
handful
with
of things. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean,
Well, I'm going to the show. I'm taking the wife. It's our first date night in a long time.
yeah.
So we'll be there tomorrow night. And besides you and Hacker, the other two I haven't seen. So before you get into those road stories, what can we expect as as just lovers of comedy.
I mean, as far as you know, like what this is for me, it's a full circle moment. I know the last time I was talking to you, we were talking about how the Well's moving to where Fish Lips was, and that's like a pivotal moment for me because that was the first place I ever performed.
Sign is up.
Yeah, in you know, in Bakersfield. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't even know, but you know, a man who deserves his roses is Chris Flail. Like Chris Flail is a staple of Bakersfield as much as I am. And you know, what you can expect is the way I look at him, he's a virtuoso, you know. Every bit of his joke has a point, and he has great word economy, you know, to break down the inside baseball of it all. But you know, I love Chris, and me and him have performed for so many years. And we actually started. Do you guys remember where Martini's was?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the bar that was inside the bowling alley.
Yeah.
Oh man, just young, fearless dudes trying to earn their stripes, sitting there saying things to, I don't know, 80% of a crowd that's filled with neck tattoos,
Trying to
just,
catch.
just cool with it, you know, just having a couple, getting that liquid courage brewing, and just
Trying to
going.
crack a joke while you hear a strike in the background. Yeah.
I mean, there were some standoffs in the parking lot before.
I believe it.
It was just like, yay, First Amendment, never letting us down. So
I'm excited to. I mean, obviously we were big fans of you and Hacker as well.
yeah,
So I mean, Flail is a regular on the show, and I've never seen him live.
That's the
You've
funny
never
part of it.
seen
He's
Chris
never,
live?
Yeah, he hasn't
I've
seen
been
Chris
to
live.
probably 50, 60 different shows at the Well, and the one time he was hosting, but he wasn't he wasn't doing any comedy. He was just introducing the other comedians.
that's crazy. No, yeah, you're in for a treat then. Like you're gonna walk out and be like, Andrew, you're no longer my favorite.
Oh, I doubt that. I love Flail, but come on, that's gonna be tough to beat.
But yeah, like him, and then the other one you said you hadn't seen was Jeremiah Nation.
Yes.
Jeremiah Nation is a powder keg. He if
Well, if you're
I
from
could,
here, you have to be, right?
if I could describe him, he's a dude with no filter that sounds like the chain smoking aunt that you weren't allowed to visit as a kid.
Awesome.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a Bakersfield person.
Like literally just like
Dude, that's awesome.
But he is one of the funniest humans I know, and that translates on stage very well. So I can't wait to.
And Hacker's up
team
there
with him.
too. I've seen Hacker several times, and every time he surprises me, and is always his personality is perfect for the comedy I like. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a hell of a lineup. And is it there? Are you opening? Is there a certain line, or have we figured that out yet?
I literally don't know what the lineup is.
I know doors open at 6. Show starts at 7.
Yes, that's correct.
And like Burdick had said recently, the tickets are still on sale. They are going quick. I talked to Flail last night, and he said there is a very small amount. So if you want to join us tomorrow night, get up on there. Get the promo code early bird for a 20% discount.
And all of this is taking place at Templar, right?
Yes,
Templar
Timber Brewing
Brewing
Company. Like which is really funny because that's like where Chris Flail like really built his footing in, you know, the comedy scene. Like whenever he wanted to do his own thing, we did open mic on Wednesdays at Tembler, and then we do Rocket Shop Cafe, RIP, over on Union.
Right.
So yeah, but the great thing about starting out a comedy scene is you get to perform in wonderful community areas.
Oh yes, I remember the Rocket Shop shows. That was always entertaining, I would say.
Just close a mechanic door. You're like, what's gonna happen now? I want to play a little game.
Oh God.
I was gonna ask, do they serve food out at Timber?
Oh
during
yeah,
these shows?
absolutely. Their
Okay.
food's fantastic.
So I don't have to double up. I can just go there and
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
worth the money too.
and they've collaborated recently with other
Oh, really?
breweries and stuff. So they're like bringing in other like it's like guest taps and stuff
Oh,
like that.
nice.
So yeah, so they've got their own great stuff,
Oh,
but
yeah.
if that's not your poison, they've got a couple more options nowadays. So that's also pretty
That's
cool.
fantastic. And then obviously before we went on air, me and you were talking about how this is a full circle moment for you
Yeah,
because of this more than just being here in Bakersfield.
yeah.
It's the same group of guys you started with. So talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the biggest thing for me. Like, obviously it's going to be fun to tear up the stage and have a good time up there, but like these are the dudes I want to do it with, you know,
Right.
like these are the dudes who I have been doing it with. We met Jeremiah Nation by going up to, it was called, well, it was Barmageddon, and Barmageddon was a barcade, and it was in the Valley. Shout out to the Golden Age. I mean, it was
What
incredible.
the hell is a barcade?
A barcade, like where you can drink and play like arcade games.
So, like Dave and Buster's.
it's
That is
all-
awesome.
Yeah.
Like a Dave and Buster's.
Well, see, Chuck E. Cheese is about to come out with that too. They're
yes,
having an adult,
Chuck E. Cheese is making an adult version.
adult Chuck E. I was like, what?
I'm all for it,
Yes.
Every day.
man. Does it come with the crap pizza too?
every day we stray further from God's light.
so, so go ahead. Well, I'm sorry. I
No,
heard
you're good.
barcade. I was like, whoa, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. And it was called Barmageddon, and it was awesome. But that's where we met Jeremiah Nation. And this was when I was substitute teaching. So I didn't always have a job on that following Monday. So we would just pack in my car, or my truck at the time
and just take off.
drive up, do the open mic, hang out for a little bit, sometimes close the bar down. Like it's like 4 a.m. You walk out into the daylight again, and you're just like, oh man, am I ready to be a teacher? Like I don't know if I can live
So
like
questioning
this.
yourself.
Just walk from one job to another, but the one job was done like 6 hours earlier. Like, what are you doing?
But look at you now.
Just hanging out. Yeah. I got it together. Okay. I got
So
it together.
Everybody goes.
So people that haven't seen your style of comedy, how would you word it?
I mean, I'm just a mixed bag, like, I mean, you're going to hear my life experiences. I'm one of those people who just likes to be really matter of fact, about the world I see. So I use a little bit of cutting observations, I'd put it as, and self-deprecation. That's the bread and butter. That's the meat and potatoes of the offense for Andrew Boydston. Just a little ground and pound on my own psyche.
If you follow up
while
on
I'm up
Facebook,
there.
you get that year round. It's fantastic.
Well, I also just like it because that's kind of like my get out of jail free card. It's
True.
like, hey, remember when you guys laughed at me saying I was a virgin lumberjack like 5 minutes ago? Yeah, I think we can throw this one by the
Yeah,
wayside.
exactly.
Yeah. Here's my card. I revoke.
1 against me, 2 against you.
Yeah. There you go. And you just double down and do it again. So, but yeah. And one of the funny things is like all of my teaching stories are so far in the past
Mhm.
that you'd have to dig on a hard drive that I don't even have anymore, like to find any of the stuff that it's about, So
Have any of the kids ever come to see your show since then and realize that story was about them?
yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like,
Because I've always wondered that with guys like Gabriel Iglesias and stuff. When
Yeah.
he talks about his son and all of his son's friends, it's like if I am the son's friend who did something dumb, I'm running up to him being like, "Is that about me? Like,
Yeah.
are you talking about me?"
there was a kid who he's currently working at Vaughn's.
Really?
Yeah, he's working
Okay.
at Vaughn's, and he was one of my students at Rosedale. And he looked at me and he's like, man, you were like the coolest substitute teacher ever. Like, I just like, are you still doing comedy? And I was like, yeah. He's like, man, I'll have to come out and see that sometime. I remember when you roasted the crap out of my friend because he was sitting there trying to backtalk you. I was like, when you're a sub, you got nothing to lose,
Right.
But also you have everything to gain. Like, what are you gonna do? Fire me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe I'll just move on to the next district, baby.
Yeah.
You need me. So
That's awesome.
What's that? Another news story about sub shortages? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. So that's awesome, dude. I can't wait for this one. Any other shows that you want to promote real quick before we get out of here?
I mean, just come and see us. We have open mics around town until the mothership opens up, right? Like
It's coming.
not the
It's
literal
coming.
mothership. Wow, I can't say that because Joe Rogan, right? Till our flagship.
Don't sue us.
Flagship.
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah. Till our Black Pearl takes
There you go.
seas. So but in the meantime, just go to Eva's on Thursdays, and that starts at 7. And then now on Mondays, right? If you're a real degenerate, you can go up to the whiskey bar on top of Firehouse, like on the top floor. And Tyson
one?
Hayes,
The
is
Rosedale one?
hosting. Yeah, in
Okay.
Rosedale, yeah. And Tyson Hayes is now hosting on Mondays up there.
Right
So
on.
just a great place if you want to do comedy, that's the
Yeah.
place to
Right.
do it, right? Like you always hear, like how do you get into this? This is how you do it. So just go out there, take a chance.
We had
meet some
Anthony on a
people.
couple weeks ago was telling
Yeah.
us about a guy that went 7-8 minutes.
Yeah,
Too
he went
far.
like 9 minutes. He was from
He said-
Porterville.
no one was laughing,
This-
and he said he just wouldn't shut up.
Where was this?
At
Oh,
Ava's.
at Ava's.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying some guy from Porterville just went up there and did 9 minutes with you guys just trying to shine the light on. He would not leave
"Get
the
off
stage.
the stage."
He's like, I know I'm good. Like,
Like,
just
oh,
like, no,
God.
get off.
Get off.
don't get
Yeah.
it.
We're not telling you you're good. We're telling you leave.
Yeah, and that's gentle. Like if you know what you're doing and you run the light, and I'm no different. Like whenever I was younger, that was my big issue. Now it's kind of like I have wiggle room because I've got gigs that I got to practice for. So they're like, yeah, like you can get a little bit more time.
Right.
And I'm a past comedian at the Well, so I get that grace. But yeah.
Well, it also
don't-
helps when the jokes are funny, right?
Yes. And
Yes.
don't be ashamed if they're not.
Yeah.
Okay. It's your first time. What have you done ever your
Right.
first time where you're just like, oh, I'm great. Just mark it off. Like,
True.
I mean, I've seen comedians that have been doing it for 20 years, and it was probably one of the worst comedy shows I've ever seen. And I'm
Mhm.
like, wow. I mean, I can't get this night back, but I can check off and say, hey, I saw this comedian, and it was one of their bad off nights. So you never know. And I love the open mics just because when you go in there, you know you're going to see the Boydstons, but you don't know if there's going to be a funny. And that was another thing with any comedy shows you go to. Usually I leave the night thinking, okay, well, the headliner was cool. It was funny. It was what I was expecting.
Right.
But it's usually the open guys that I'm like, wow, dude, I have to find that guy on Instagram. I have to find that guy because they usually will steal the show
yeah.
because you're not expecting them. And I mean, that's how I saw Boydston the first time. And I was like, wow, dude, I hit him up and followed him immediately. And if you're not going to go out Saturday, dude, you got to go out because that lineup is one of the best in town, if not the best. So it's always awesome to see you. And congratulations on the teaching job. That is just incredible, dude. Years and years ago when we were talking, when you were a substitute teacher, I never knew you were going to be a full-time history teacher.
Yeah.
And that's awesome and you said 7th grade?
Yeah, 7th grade.
That is perfect for you.
Yeah.
And we are a sports show.
Yes.
And I know Boydston's a sports guy too.
Absolutely.
So what do you want to start off? Baseball first?
I mean, I was going to ask because I don't think we've talked to him since the draft. How are you feeling about the Colts now?
I mean, I love the Colts. We talked last time.
Yeah.
And you told me, and I sat there and I put my pitch out there to protect our darling Anthony Richardson. And literally
The next day
it says Daniel Jones in line to be starter if his shoulder doesn't heal. I'm happy to report his shoulder is healed, but I'm also not going to say a thing about Anthony Richardson today. That's not happening. But yeah, I think one of the biggest things that the Colts have going for them, and that is, now with Tyler Warren, they have no excuse.
Yeah.
You have the guy, right? Like we used to be kind of like this Timu Voltron of like 5 different dudes, like Mo Alley Cox, and then one of them would get injured, and then Will Mallory's in there for 2 plays for some reason, and Kylan Granson. Like, I mean, it's been tough. So I'm excited to see consistency at the tight end position. I think he'll learn a lot from Mo Alley Cox too, especially with using your body in the red zone and stuff like that. But he just seems like a bruiser, and I'm excited for him. But I'm also, no one gives him flowers enough, and I'm here to always be his stand. Jonathan Taylor is still on the team, people.
Yeah.
And
still one of the best running backs in the league.
And yeah, it's biased, but I think he could be a sneaky league winner for fantasy folks out there.
Honestly, no, he was going to be on my radar this year too, especially after the year he had last year, bouncing back from the injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
As long as he could stay healthy.
Yeah.
And you guys can get something consistently from the quarterback position specifically. But I mean, Daniel Jones and Anthony can run too. So obviously you got somebody that can run with him. So maybe you guys start doing some option plays or something. But I do agree with you. I think Jonathan Taylor is one of the most slept on running backs in the league right now.
Yeah. And it will be very interesting to see a consistency if Richardson, should be injured or whatever happens and
Well, I
Daniel
mean,
Jones comes in.
And we were just talking about how the running back position has been pretty much saved by Saquon after last year because nobody was paying for running backs until Saquon led the Eagles to the Super Bowl.
I'm here to absolutely eat crow. I thought Derrick Henry was done, like as far as like his effectiveness and everything else.
Oh, he is a stud. He will continue to be a stud for the rest of his career.
And I love the fact that like you looked at it and everybody's like, oh, the running back position is just it's devalued, and now you're going younger and you're doing committees and stuff like that. It's not going to be the same. And then Saquon's just like, hold my beer,
Yeah,
I
there's
feel-
definitely tears.
That's the case, though. I feel if you can't find like, I hate using this word, but a generational running back. Like
Sure.
if you can't find a Bijan or a Saquon or a Jonathan Taylor.
Sure.
Once you find that big guy, they will hold on to that player forever until you are run into the ground.
That's why I was still surprised that Henry left,
Yeah.
because I was like, I thought for sure he was going to finish his career there. And of course, landing in Baltimore just fit perfectly for him.
Honestly, though, after seeing what Tennessee has done since he left, he probably saw the sinking ship
Oh,
well
yeah.
faster than the rest of us did.
Yeah.
So I all the more power to you. Get out of there and go win a championship with Baltimore. But for you guys and the Colts, I just feel like if you could figure out who a good quarterback is for you, you actually could be back in the playoff situation.
I am going to just reserve
Your
like
any comments?
yeah, because
I personally think Daniel Jones could be an upgrade with them if he could buy into that offense.
That's safe.
do you ever get that though? Like, do you ever
I
get
think-
that where you're
I think
literally
I think he could surprise some people. I mean, we say the same thing about quarterbacks that play with the Jets. Like, we'll give them a pass because they play for the Jets.
Played for the
I mean, he
Jets.
played for the Giants. I mean, it was a turmoil thing, and I think maybe just clean slate and hit reset, you get another option.
Yeah.
And I think what I saw out of Anthony Richardson, the up, I mean, he has a high ceiling, but it was more of running the ball.
Yeah.
And it was just so hit and miss when it came to passing. I think having a set quarterback like Daniel Jones, what you're going to get out, I think it at least helps the coaches with play calling, and it might benefit Jonathan Taylor, to tell you the truth.
A quarterback that can actually complete more than 40% of his passes too, by the way.
See, but also like the other thing is like, oh, he only completed like 50% of his passes, and it's like, okay, but did he win the game? And it's like, yes,
right.
and did he win the game?
Okay, but
through
see-
hold on, but did he win the game through hybrid, right? And I will tell you this: the Colts had one of the worst drop rates. Okay, so
Fair.
his receivers weren't doing anything for him to help him, except for Alec Pierce. And that was the dude that everybody was like, oh, we got to trade Pierce and get something. And it's like, no. Pierce.
Was it?
No, he's a
Ogletree?
solid.
I liked Ogletree too.
Ogletree's solid too.
Yes.
But
yeah.
2 points to that. One, it's easier to catch a catchable ball
Sure.
when your balls are ugly as sin, like most of the ones that come out of Anthony Richardson's hands or Daniel Jones's hands. It's hard to catch that as a wide receiver. And 2, going back to your comment of did you win the game? You could have said the same thing about Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Look what happened to Tebow.
Well,
That lasted what, 2 years? 2 years for Denver, and they swiftly said, okay, this is over. We're going to getting Peyton Manning.
hey, but Tim Tebow delivered one of the greatest moments ever in Steelers downfall history.
Oh, 100%.
And they're like that team that everybody can get on board of hating as long as they're not a part
I
of them,
still,
you know?
to this
Exactly.
day, give my best friend grief about that game because of how bad they let Tim Tebow beat them. But that matters not. My point is that if you are going to sit there and say, oh, we'll take a guy just because he wins you football games,
Yeah.
there are better quarterbacks that could win you football
And
games.
but you look at the stat line and it's like, okay, he threw probably like 10 passes, and one of them or two of them were like absolute bomb touchdowns, and then the other one he like ran in.
It's not
So-
always about stats or your fantasy team. I mean, we just saw the quarterback show on Netflix where what was it? He threw 5 touchdowns with the Bengals and still lost.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it was great for your fantasy team.
Yeah.
I'll
did
take
you
that all
win
day
the
for my
game?
fantasy team. I
But
will
if
take
you're
that
a-
all day.
If you're a Bengals fan and you lost that game, that's what you remember.
I'm going into Dynasty this next
Ooh.
year.
Are you
Very
trying a
nice.
dynasty league now?
I'm going to be in one, yeah, with one of the history teachers. So
Oh,
that'll be
nice.
fun.
I play one with my older brother, and it's pretty intense.
It is, yeah.
I enjoy it just because I'm a fantasy nerd, but we have contracts for a certain amount of times
Oh,
and
wow.
trades, and yeah, it gets crazy. I'm like, I have to take another bathroom break, guys. Sorry, I'll be right back. And I'm here for 30 minutes trying to fix my team. But no, it's always good to see you, Boydston. And if you're going to make it out tomorrow at Timbler, doors open at 6, shows at 7. Jeremiah Nation, Andrew Boydston, John Hacker, and our boy Chris Foyle. Jam-packed show. And again, congratulations on the new full-time position.
Hey, thank you.
Watch out, 7th graders.
Thank you. Yeah, and again, like, don't forget about Tumblr, but also I have another thing. If
Yeah,
I can
go
plug
for
it
it.
real quick. I took crap from all my friends on it. It's a comedy podcast. It's about Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
It's called Rolling with Comics. It is adult content, okay? And I cannot stress that enough.
Nice.
Like, don't let kids listen to this, okay? That's your fault if they get that.
Yes.
All right, they have your Spotify Premium.
I
you can listen
still
to us.
say your kids are gonna find it anyway.
Oh, dude,
so-
they found my comedy career as soon as I told them don't do it.
But you have to put the warning out, at least the
Yeah.
disclaimer.
Yeah, the disclaimer. Hey, listen, I can put don't drink the shampoo, but if you do it, like after you read it, that's not my fault anymore.
This was a generation of Tide Pod eaters at one
Oh,
point.
man, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
how often do episodes come out?
so episodes are released every week. It's every 2 weeks that we record, and it is myself, John Hacker, Trevor Chavez, Alyssa Suggs, Jay Newkirk, and Jay Bird, John Burden.
Nice.
So yeah, if you ever get a chance, it's a lot of fun. We're getting close to wrapping up the first campaign. It was just us being a bunch of murder hobos, so it was a lot of fun. Just
Well, if
trying.
you guys need another guy in your next campaign, let me know. I'll jump into.
We look for guests.
Oh, let me know.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm down. I play D&D and I love that. So
That's
I will
awesome.
absolutely jump in with you guys.
Yeah, yeah. And for those of you who have never played D&D but have just been thinking about it, get it together and do it. Just do it.
It is one of the best games to just do on a game night. I know everybody thinks it's the nerdiest thing on the planet, but trust me, when you get your friends into their character and they get to do whatever they want, it changes the entire dynamic of game night. It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah, and I was a little bunny warlock. That's
Exactly.
what I was.
Does
A
it
bunny.
go with the pink hat?
Huh?
Does it go with the pink hat?
It does. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I figured that.
No, but thank you guys. You guys are absolute gems. Love
Thanks, brother.
being on here, and we'll see you guys all at Timber tomorrow, 7 p.m. sharp.
Absolutely. We got to take a break real quick, pay some bills. On the other side, we're going to be talking to professional boxer Joel Iriarte. This is the Early Bird Special on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield. And welcome back. This is the early bird special, final half hour of the week. We gotta thank Andrew Boyd for dropping by, talking about the comedy show coming up this weekend. We are very excited to talk to professional boxer Joel Iriarte and his coach Martin Espinoza. Boys, how are you? How's everything going? Good. Not a problem. Joel, we'll start with you, my friend. We got to talk about the career and stuff like that. How did you get started in professional boxing? You're currently 8-0 in your career, 7 knockouts. Where did all this start? Have you always wanted to be a boxer? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, man. I appreciate for having us.
No problem.
Everyone that's on the early bird, today. Appreciate you guys tuning in. But I started boxing when I was 6 years old. It was kind of like a thing of motivation. I wanted to do karate, combat training. And my dad ended up having a friend that actually had just opened up a boxing gym. So, that's kind of how I got started in the boxing game. And, I was 6 years old and they were like, oh, we start him off at 8 years old. So they're like, let's see how long he lasts. But, I decided to, stick to it. And we're here now, man. So, I'm excited to, keep on, pushing my professional career and hopefully that path to being a world champion.
So when did that really become a factor for you? When did you look at this and say, you know what, I could do this professionally? Like I could beat up guys for a living and get paid for it.
Yeah, it was I was a real shy kid, man. A lot of people think like, oh, you have to have something, like deep in you. But I was really shy kid, bro. I was like teacher's pet, like very smart, like a real nerd, nerdy, shy, scrawny kid, very skinny all my life. So it was just like a passion thing, the coaches and everyone, the ambience of being a boxer and it being like completely different from what I was used to. Kind of like the whole, like maybe he can't do it, like see how long it takes him to like, just actually, kind of like building that boxer style, that boxer character. So it wasn't until like I started hitting 11, 12, 13 years old, where I started to like develop like more of like that tougher, skin.
Mentality. Yeah.
More tougher skin. And, I guess those early teen years were for me like the thing where it was just like, I'm going to stick to it. I turned 13 and it was like, okay, I'm turned 14. I'm be able to go on Team USA, do those tournaments and stuff like that. Is actually something I want to do. So I think that around those years where it was like, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. And, so it was a good, just decision in my life. And now we're professional. Signed with Golden Boy. I have my first little title. I have the WBA. So, seeing how far I could take it, and looking back then on me, having even those moments of like, oh, can I do it?
Right.
Is, super, I get a lot of,
it sounds to me like the challenge of like people thinking you couldn't do it is what really drove you to this. Do you kind of use that as a coach to kind of motivate him in certain ways? Or,
I don't know. He has
does he still have that chip on his shoulder?
Yeah, he does. He does in regards to just his ability. I think just even coming up, he gets a little written off. Even as coming up as a gym, us starting off the ability and what we're able to do for the community. We've had a lot of conversations where we didn't hear back from people, and it's kind of like not taken as serious as people.
A little disheartening.
Yeah, but he's 22, so people don't think he's as serious as he is in regards to just his total character and who he is and the depth of his character. So, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for Joel, but sometimes I see that where he's like, okay, it's time to show him again.
Okay.
It's time to show him again.
Now, I noticed you were born in Woodland Hills. Were you raised here? Were you raised over there in Woodland?
No, I was born. I mean, I was raised here.
Okay.
At 3 years old, 4 years old, I think we came over here. So yeah, I've been here my whole life.
So the Bakersfield mentality. Did you go to high school here and everything?
Yeah, Ridgeview. I went.
Nice. Go Wolfpack.
Yeah,
Ridgeview,
go, man.
Nice.
Yeah, Ridgeview boy over there. I went to Garces, so it is what it is. But I didn't want to. But family got to choose where I got to go, so that's what.
Yeah, I lived over there in the Greenfield area, so I went to elementary school.
Right in my backyard.
Yeah,
okay.
I went to school in Horizon. McKee. We just did like a little. I went and I talked to the kids, did a little like presentation and motivate them at McKee. So yeah, man, it was exciting, to see where I obviously started off as a kid, but I've been here my whole life.
Okay, so who was the inspiration that really made you want to get into karate and do combat sports?
I always tell everybody it's like a weird story because I was just watching Karate Kid and I was
really
like, it was like coming up. Yeah, what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. You wanted to do the crane kick. That's what it was, huh?
Yeah, the little thing with the 1 foot. But my dad, being Hispanic, he was like, hey, man, leave that karate. Lace the gloves on.
Ralph Macchio ain't exactly what everybody does, son.
Yeah, so, we decided to do boxing. And
okay.
Yeah, we're here.
That's awesome, dude. I love that. obviously getting into boxing, you're professional, 8-0 right now, is a record. You were just on the Jake Paul and Chavez card. How was that? I know obviously you had to go into this. You were thinking you were fighting one guy that got canceled. You had to quickly switch over. So what was the mindset switch for you in that?
Yeah, you prepare for something, you expect something, and to get a completely different opponent, different styles, from what you're prepared for. Obviously it's a little bit, you gotta adjust, adapt. But I think the good thing is that we're prepared. We have so much experience in the game, starting, since I boxed since I was 6 years old. So it's being in the gym consistently, having a hard preparation with our strength and conditioning. With our boxing, our sparring, our preparation leading up to the fight was pretty much excellent. So, we had all the tools to, overcome those obstacles and, perform on such an amazing stage. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Jake Paul, big stage, big platform, so us being able to show out and put Bakersfield, represent Bakersfield for me has always been a dream, so. I was excited to go in, show my skill set, and then, come up with the victory.
Absolutely. And obviously it's your only unanimous decision of your career so far.
Yeah.
Do you think if you had a little bit more prep time, you probably would have made it 8Ks?
Yeah. I've been knocking them out, since my first fight, I've been knocking them out. I haven't gone past the second round. So for this guy to be a little bit tougher, he was part of the, Team Mayweather. So I know he came in with a lot of experience. He's been in there with a couple world champions before. He's gone the distance. So I knew he was going to come in tough, be one of, my tougher opponents. So, but, now with that experience, I do feel like if I got in there again, I'd stop him. Yeah, I'd finish him.
And talk about the gym a little bit. We'll shift over to Martin since you're the one that runs the gym right now. Do you take in other people for lessons and stuff like that? We'll start there for like anybody who just wants to roll in and maybe want to learn how to box.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have athletes of a lot of different backgrounds. So we have athletes, just starting out. We have our TOTS class, which is 2 to 4 years old. We have our little champs, which is 5 to 7. We have like our core group, which is our competitive boxers.
Okay.
So that's a really big group. We have a lot of coaches on staff, and then we have our boxing fundamentals group, which is people who are ready to transition to that competitive stage or kind of like recreational boxing. Like come in, you're not going to get hit, but we want you to learn how to jab before you leave training this week. We want you to learn how to slip a punch, how to get your conditioning up. So that way, you can feel a little more confident, a little more empowered. And just sometimes, running on the treadmills, it's really boring. So it's a good way to work a sweat, burn some calories. And we also do a lot of work with inclusive adaptive fitness. So we do work with KRC. So me and Joel both, we see, a fair amount of clients throughout the week with different cognitive and physical disabilities. That's one of the biggest things that he's an ambassador for. We work with the League of Dreams and other organizations. Like
Love the League of Dreams.
Yeah, that's great.
Big fans of them over there. So where can people go to get signed up then if they want to?
Easiest way is the Instagram.
Okay.
As the Warm Up Athletics. And then that's what it's called, right?
Yeah. Warm Up Athletic website, hit us up on Google, find a phone number.
And you guys will reach out to them that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. A couple self-indulgent questions for you guys here. Well, first one for you. I always like asking this question with fighters. Who is your dream fight right now? It could be anybody across history. You could fight Manny Pacquiao. You could fight Muhammad Ali. I don't care who it is, but if you could sign a contract right now for a fight for September, who would you fight?
Man, they always say like you don't want to meet or fight your heroes, right? Like your dream fight.
Yeah.
I don't know, but for me, I always wanted to fight, the best. So like people, like the best ever. I think Julio Cesar Chavez, since he fought, I would like to fight his dad.
That would be interesting.
Just because, I think the Mexican clash, the styles, I think that, fighting, he's one of the best of all time. So I think that would be like obviously one of my dream fights.
Okay. Now,
I got one for him.
Okay. You go for it.
And just to clarify, I'm his strength and conditioning coach.
Absolutely.
So you don't want me teaching your kids boxing. I would want him to fight Mayweather. Like give Joel 4 or 5 more years.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe 3 more years.
Yeah.
Just because he's so diverse as a fighter, offense, defense, transition,
You think you
power.
could pin him to a corner and stop Mayweather from running? Because that's one of my biggest gripes against him is that boy just the entire fight. It's like, dude, sit down for a second.
Joel will make him trade. I just like, because no one cracked that code. And I'll be like, man, I think Joel would have been the guy.
Okay. That's an interesting take. I like that. I like that, especially coming from your coach. Obviously, he knows what you're capable of.
I was going to say, that's good words
high
coming from
orders
your
right
coach.
there.
Right. No, yeah.
So with the gym and stuff like that, how often do you guys do these courses? How often can people get in touch with you guys? Like, I know there's a lot of people that I know that have always wanted to get into combat sports. So how quickly can they get going with you guys?
Today, 4 p.m.
Fantastic.
A
Beautiful.
boxing fundamentals class, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. For our competitive fighters, it's a 2-hour class. It's a little more extensive, a little more comprehensive, 6 to 8 p.m. Yeah, today come in. I mean, we just started in October, but you know, we've been moving pretty fast, and then we just see where we're going in the next 5 years, and it's like, man, come on in, bring it
Absolutely.
in. We're doing a lot of great things.
Ride the wave with them, man. Jump in
Yes.
on this. So both of you are obviously deep into the boxing scene. I'm going to start with the fun one this weekend. Thoughts on Manny Pacquiao returning to the game and having his first fight here this weekend?
Yeah, man. You gotta leave my guy alone, bro. He's old, you know, legend in the game.
He chose to come back, man. He
You
came out
gotta-
of politics and said, I want to beat someone up again.
Right, you gotta give it up for him, man. Well, how old is he? 40?
Politics will do that to people.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, those guys are. But yeah, I think logically you think like the younger guy, stronger guy, up and coming guy. But I mean, you can't knock what Pacquiao's have done. You know what he has done for the game. So it's gonna be a good one, man. I think stuff like that's 50-50. You know, Barrios hasn't. I mean, they both haven't been active recently, but we'll see, man. I want Mac get a win, bro. I'm a big Pacquiao fan.
Yeah,
you
me
know,
too.
so,
Me too.
yeah, hopefully Pacquiao brings it through.
And then I always like to ask this too, but with the world of boxing shifting more towards like the Jake Paul scene, like the influencers seem to get most of the sighting. What do you feel like? How do you feel about that with the game? Like, do you like the fact that Jake Paul is bringing all this attention to the game? Or are you one of the traditionalists that wish it was more of like an actual boxer doing this?
I don't know. I think in the beginning I thought like, hey, you know, this is kind of funny. It's putting a bad name and reputation on the sport.
Right.
But I think now, since being a part of it, I think I see how much like he does train as a boxer. He loses the weight. He had a hard time cutting weight this past camp. So, you know, you see him actually make the sacrifice to be a professional boxer. So you got to respect it. And then a lot of attention, a lot of media, it was a different experience from us being on even big fights in the past, you know? So, you know, us being there, getting that exposure, I think it's really good for us up and coming fighters and for the sport, you know, in itself. You know, a lot of people want to get in the ring, you know, be boxers and stuff like that.
Right.
So it brings a different audience, you know, the youth and stuff like that. I mean, you know, nowadays the kids could be influenced by, you know, some random dude. So the fact that they're in there, you know, and you know, they could be influenced by, you know, boxers who are of good lifestyles, good quality life, you know, smart,
Absolutely.
intelligent. I think that's important too. So
Yeah.
I think he's doing something that's good for the game.
See, that's what I've always said too. It's like, as long as you are doing it in a positive way, he's not trying to make a joke out of it. He's not, I know everybody likes to knock him and say, oh, he's only fighting, you know, weak fighters or something like that. It's like, well, when the top-notch fighters aren't exactly accepting your contracts, you have to take the ones you're going to get, right?
100%.
So all he's trying to do is boost the game, which personally, and I hate saying this, but it's been kind of dying the last couple years. And I mean, you need somebody to come in and kind of bring it back up, you know?
Yeah. UFC's been doing like UFC's been coming up pretty quickly,
Exactly.
you know. So for Jake Paul and like these other influence, you know, to be able to put the gloves on and do it, you know, like you're saying again in positive, you know, impact the youth and the community and stuff like that, or you know, different areas. I think this is good what they're doing.
He said he wants to fight Joshua.
I know I saw that coming up, man. I think that'd be an interesting
That's
one.
a dangerous
I was
fight.
just about to ask. I was
Yeah.
like, I
That's a
never know.
dangerous fight.
But guys, we are running out of time, unfortunately. Thank you so much for your time. Anything else you want to shout out before we let you go?
The warm up project, nonprofit. So again, Jamal's a fighter. More than that, you know, he's a great ambassador to the community. He's doing a lot of stuff for foster youth, for youth and young adults with cognitive and physical disabilities. You know, giving them a chance to box, just to be like any other kid, like they deserve to be. And so yeah, warm up project, warm up athletics. Jamal, out there, you know, everything we're doing, and watch us grow.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us. Send me over the stuff for warm up and for the gym. We'd love to pump it up for you guys on our social media as well. And we hope to talk to you guys soon. And when you sign your next fight, let us know. We'll get you back on and talk about it.
Yeah, we'll be there. Stay
Awesome.
tuned, guys.
Thanks
you so
guys.
much.
Appreciate it. We'll be right back. We got to take a break, pay some bills. This is the Early Bird Special on 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. ESPN Bakersfield. Welcome back. Ooh, close.
Close.
I was like, I've never heard them give the mother and the F at the same time.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah.
that was close. Well done, Mac.
We cleaned that up.
Yes, we did. Very below legal. We cleaned that up.
What are you watching this weekend?
It's going to be tough for me to watch anything just because I
The
will be
beach?
at the beach enjoying the weather of the
Again?
marina. I should have been there all week. I love this show, and I came back.
Plus, you got to get paid.
Yes, I do. Well, I would have got paid. I still get paid. I got vacation time. No, I will most likely be enjoying the beach. But while I am down there, I will be checking out TNA Slammiversary. If you are a wrestling fan, AJ Styles will be in attendance along with a handful of other fantastic wrestlers like Joe Hendry, Trick Williams, just a long list of others. I believe that they're still doing their entire thing with NXT, so there's going to be a handful that you'll see from them as well. If you're a WWE fan, I highly doubt you go check it out. It'll be a lot of fun. Outside of that, that's pretty much all I got for this weekend. What about you?
I mean, baseball starts today, so I'm gonna watch the Mariners
You got
demolish
60
the
games of
Astros.
baseball to catch up on, my
That's fine.
friend.
No, I don't. But I'll be watching the Mariners Astros series. I'll try to catch the 3-point contest. I'll be out at the Chris Flail comedy show tomorrow
Absolutely,
night.
as you should be.
And you better get your tickets while you can. And we had a text that came in and just writing in to say that not everybody on that Saturday comedy lineup plays D&D like a Zork.
Oh,
And thank you, because
look, brother,
I'm the only one. I thought.
hate all you want, but you're just missing out on a fun game. That's all it is. It's just a fun game.
No, he's just giving you crap.
I
But,
know. It's just a fun.
Another one says wrestling fans, Undertaker will be on NXT for his
he
guy
will.
Blake Monroe's debut title shot.
Well, okay, so it's going to be an interesting NXT next week because he is going to be really addressing the promo that happened last week, which was Trick Williams chewing out his entire LFG team, who just so happened to be there for some reason. Not sure exactly why. But I am excited to see Blake Monroe get her first shot at a title because this entire build up around the Jordan Grace Blake Monroe feud is going to be great payoff for NXT. These are two very, very talented women in the division, and arguably the next two to be called up, along with Jada Parker and I would say probably Izzy Dame. I think she's going to be one of those that gets a nod here pretty soon too, and Sol Ruka. But again, lots of great wrestling for over the weekend, lots of great entertainment. Hope you all enjoy your weekend.
I'm catching crap. It said Sparky, baseball had already started, and you do know how the Mariners history say they do in the second half of the season.
Yeah, you're about to learn
It's
that.
all right.
But it's okay.
All right. I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm used to
There's
being let down.
always hope when you start the season off on a high note.
And we'll have our boy Tyson Hayes returning on Monday.
Talk about the shows that he is hosting, along with much, much more from over the weekend. Once again, enjoy your weekend. We will be back 7 to 9. As always, we got to get out of the way for the great Rich Eisen or whoever is guest hosting today. I'm not 100% sure if Rich is back. Until next week, this is the Early Bird Special. Sparky, let's go home.